Can't forget that. Morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to our annual membership meeting. We do this once a year in August, and just to keep you informed as to what's happening around the park, both past, present, and we'll try to predict the future as well. First up today, please, Pastor Craig, lead us in a moment of prayer.
Sure. If you'd pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together today as members and friends of Sandy Pines. We're grateful for this community, for the beauty of the creation around us, for the fellowship that we share. Lord, as always, we ask for wisdom as we meet. Bless our park, its members, our staff, all who serve to make this place a wonderful and welcoming place. May all that is said and done here today honor you and strengthen the bond of this community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Craig. First off, we're going to allow each of the board members to just make a couple of comments as they see fit. And I guess since I have the microphone, I get to start. So I'm Paul Peppel. I've been on the board now for 6 years, and since I'm at the end of my second 3-year term, that means I time out, and the others will be ready to take my place. I want to thank all the current and former board members that I've worked with, and those that had confidence in me to vote me the chair for the last year. So I greatly appreciate that. And once today is done and we have our new board members instilled, then I'll go off to my typewriter and type up a footprints article. It'll be footprints article number 63 for me. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I thank you and thank you for allowing me to come into your homes. And hopefully I've given you some information that's useful and readable. So thank you very much. Who wants to go next? Here, Rick.
Well, good morning. I'm usually the quiet one on the board, so I have served on the board for 6 years. Next year will be my 7th. I did a 3-year term and then was off a year and then was appointed to fill a vacancy for a year and then elected to a 3-year term. So as Paul said, we try to get all the information and gather as much as we can to make what we feel is the best decision for the park in the long run and not just our personal interest. And we just want to thank everybody. Truly, with all the drama and this and that, there always seems to be a certain issue or whatever, but really the people at Sandy Pines are what makes it great, and we get to utilize this beautiful place. We have a great staff. Without them doing all the heavy lifting day to day, they're all sitting over there quietly in the corner. But they do the heavy lifting, in the administration, obviously, and we can't say enough about all the great things that they do. And again, just as we go forward, try to show some grace and understanding and just realize that everybody up here is a member as well. It's not like we're just chosen to make decisions that affect everybody and like it doesn't affect us as well. So, with that said, again, thank you, and look forward to a great year.
Good morning. I'm Jenny Hager. I have been on the board. I was on for 6 years, off for the required 1 year, and kind of dragging my feet, I came back on. Just because it is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. But I have a lot of passion for this park. I've been in this park since the 70s, and I am dating myself, yes. But I've been here a while, and I love this. It's still my happy place. And that was a concern being on the board. Is your view going to change? Are you not going to want to be here? But somehow God has given me the grace to set aside some of the things that people don't agree on or are drama, talk about drama, for somehow I can set that aside and I can continue to be here every day in the summer, and it's my happy place. And I want to thank the members for being supportive. I want to thank this great board. We just work well together, and I'm so appreciative for everyone. And I'll be sad to see the 3 leaving this year, Ellen and, Paul and Bob. They've been a huge asset. And I want to thank Kimberly and Jeff for all they do for the park. It's unbelievable how much love and passion they have for this. And the staff, we appreciate you, what you do every day with a smile. Thank you.
So my name is Craig Van Beek. I have been on the board. This is my second year. I grew up here in the 70s and worked here for a very long time, and then I've been a member for 7 years. I decided to run for the board. Just thought that that aspect of growing up here, working here, and then having a membership here really brings a unique viewpoint to what goes on. So I've enjoyed the board immensely. I want to take a moment and thank Paul for his leadership and guidance in the chair. He leads with a quiet demeanor, but does very well as the board president. And so, Paul, I want to thank you specifically for everything that you've done for us. This park is an amazing place. I've watched it grow. And yes, there's ups and downs, but I've seen so many relationships built here and close relationships. And I think what we have here is very special. And as a board member, you know what Jenny said, we do work well together. While we always don't agree, the conversations are always excellent. And we try to take everyone's viewpoint into consideration when we make decisions, as those decisions affect us as well. So just thank you for putting me on here and allowing me to serve you. So thank you.
I think it's on.
I think it's on, Larry.
Hey, hello, good morning. I'm Larry Munger, and I've been a member here in Sandy Pines for 42 years. We've seen a lot of changes, and we're finding new things out every day. Like this year, we find out that state law does apply to Sandy Pines, and there are things in the state laws that allow for a more open membership. And I see, with all the confusion we had this weekend about when the meetings are, that we still have far to go, and we need to learn how to adjust quicker and better for the members. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. Thank you to everyone that's here. My name is Pat Duzema. I've been a member of the park for 4 years and was honored to be elected to the board 2 years ago. I'm not going to repeat all the good accolades that have been said here, but I do agree with everyone and do thank Bob and Paul and I'm drawing a blank, Ellen, for their time and all the years they've put in. It is a lot of work, but we do our best to take everyone's interest in mind, and I do agree with everyone that we do work well together. We talk through things, and there's a lot of time we spend that people don't realize, but we are there, and we are members, and it's us that's affected as well. So thank you for being here, and we hope everyone has a blessed weekend after this meeting and the board meeting today.
All right, so again, good morning, everybody. That brings us to the park update. Before I do that, and I don't fall off the edge here, again, one of the things that we're blessed with is some great leadership. So as members, board members rotate out, we give some thank yous. So Paul, thank you for your service. Greatly appreciate it. You've continue to do a great job. Ellen is not here. We have one for Ellen, and I saw Bob Deckinga yesterday and gave him a certificate as well for just a quick thank you and a little gift on behalf of Sandy Pines. So again, this takes a lot of their time and sometimes maybe a little bit away from their happy place, but we have great leadership. So and that's because of the board. So we appreciate all that you guys do. Some quick thank yous while we're doing some thank yous. Chapel, so we have our sound guy Norm in the back. So Norm, thank you for helping out and setting up, and the chapel for allowing us to have the grounds here. Ian's in the back. Ian from Communications has continued to do a great job for us. The audio-visual stuff that we've done in the North Shore has really taken away a lot of that echoing and some of the opportunities that the members have given us to say, hey, try to fix this. Ian's done a great job, so Ian, thank you for that. The rest of the staff here, so we got Paul Scoff from Public Safety, Janelle is our camping, Janelle Wells. We all wear many hats, but Janelle's got camping, for sale by owner. She's also helps me out from an executive assistant standpoint. She sets up a lot of these meetings for us, so Janelle, thank you. Amanda in HR, you can't imagine the HR stuff. So during the season, we have about 30 to 40-ish year-round employees. And then comes the season where she processes over 100 new applicants and onboarding for all the seasonal and the rec. I think the rec kids alone are like 80 kids that come in. So she's done a great job automating that for us. So thank you, Amanda. Ben Fifalski, maintenance. Park looks great because of him and his team. He does a great job leading the team. We've got a beautiful park, and it's 54 years old. And I got the shirt on from the 50th, but it's 54 years old, and we've got some challenges and more than duct tape and stick 'em and stuff like that. Ben's team does a really good job keeping this park beautiful and humming along. Jim Buchanan, park inspector. This is year 2 for Jim, and he's done a really good job leading that group, restructuring it, adding some heads to make certain that the service that the members expect and deserve is there. Our permits are up as far as both proactively, members coming in and saying, hey, do I need a permit for this? How do I do this? Jim and his team will go into that booklet and show you how to do it, how much it'll cost for a permit, where you need to go, and that we've gotten really good positive feedback of, hey, we now have our permits on file, we know what we're doing, and we know what the rules are, so that team has done a really good job under Jim's leadership. Kent in sales, he keeps going every year. Sales on average is still, anywhere from 100 to 200. We have some up years, we have some down years, but I did take a look at some of the new members that came into the park this year. We had over 200 new members come into the park this year. And so that's, Janelle does a lot of the for sale by owners. Kent does a lot of the sales. Kent has done a really good job of moving that into the sales department, because when we do go through a for sale by owner process, some things are lost in the translation as far as rules, expectations, how to do things in the park. So Kent has done a really good job of showing that value of his experience in the team and making certain that the new members get it and they understand what they're getting into as far as a beautiful park here and how to do things in the park. So again, our staff, thank you for all the hard work. Our members, thank you to our members. We're blessed to have a great membership. Again, as stated earlier, we don't often get along at times, but if we put those differences aside and say, hey, for the greater good of the park, because it's been here for 54 years, what's the right decision for the park and our members going forward? Once we get past that and through that, we all seem to come to the right spot of this is a great place, and doing the right thing sometimes is hard, but it's the right thing to do, and it helps strengthen our park. So members, thank you for all that you do as well. We try to go through some of the things that we're proud of and some of the things that we think we need to work on in the future. So I'll go through those real quick because I know Kimberly has some financial updates, and then we want to get you time to ask some questions as well. So again, things to be proud of. We know who we are, right? We know who Sandy Pines is. We've got really strong values and morals here. We know we're a nonprofit organization. We know what we have to do state law, legally. We know all the things that make us who we are today. And that's all the way from the board to the staff to the members. And that's why we've been such a good organization for the last 54 years and a great place to be. Again, the staff, huge thank you. We're proud of the staff. The staff continues to see opportunities. So, we've done some restructuring in our admin office to try and offset some costs. Nicole Milbacher is there now, and she's a full-time person year-round. We moved to a seasonal person up front, Dawn Levency. She's done a great job for us. I get to talk to Dawn next week to kind of sway her to make certain she wants to come back next year, but she's done a great job for us. Sales, we've had a couple of changes in the sales department where we took some of those costs and some of those heads and moved them into a seasonal role to help with our budgeting process. I don't think we've missed a beat. We've got good service still in those departments, and we've seen some cost savings in doing those structures. Public safety is always a buzzword during the season. You know, again, first and foremost, they're here to keep us safe and secure, and they do that. And not a lot of people know that they do that year-round. We do make certain that everything here at Sandy Pines is safe and secure year-round. Lots have been said about, you know, hey, violations. We still have the data that, yep, our violations are X, but we continue to do about 50% educating and policing with warnings and then 50% violations. Those will fluctuate during the season, month to month, but you know, they still do some community policing out there because we're here to have fun, but make certain that we're having fun in a safe manner. Camping and sales, camping is up again this year. Janelle is getting, I think, wide-eyed because October is right around the corner, and that's when the camping opens up. We continue to be sold out in our campsites, and that helps bring in that revenue that some of our operational dues don't cover, and that's a good thing for all of us because we're bringing that revenue in from the outside. Park inspector, we've talked a little bit, but again, that office was on budget for trees, and then we had this little thing called the Sandy Pines tornado hit. And I think one of the newscasts did name it the Sandy Pines tornado. But again, real responsive from Jim and Steve and Cindy. Since we put 3 people in that department, feedback has been really good on, hey, we're getting our questions answered, we're getting our permits and things processed in a timely manner. So we're blessed to have that team as well as the rest of the team. Member service, Nicole does a great job up front from a service standpoint. She's been our expert. So what did we do in 2025 as far as projects? What did we complete? Again, what should we be proud of? I would say, you know, first and foremost, the dam. The dam project, DAM, is now behind us, and you know that is secure, and that should last us, you know, 50+ years and beyond. We were blessed to get some help from the state. I know that was a little bit of a tough bullet, even for me as a member, you know, to put in some of that assessment money, but it's done. It's taken care of. We do hear some questions about, hey, what do we still hear some water leaking in there. What's going? That's by design. There's tow drains there. You're still going to get a little water flowing through there. That water seeps up into the berm of the dam, and there's a manhole there that you don't necessarily see, and that's natural drainage. We're not draining our lake. Pumps on our lake. We finally addressed. Hopefully, we're crossing our fingers with the pumps. They have been on all season. That's a hit to us operationally because the electricity is going through the roof. But those pumps are to continue to make certain that we have fresh water in the lake and try and offset some of the evaporation. My wife will tell you this. I'm not real good with arithmetic at times, but we lose 3 million gallons of water on a hot day, and those pumps, if you do the math, put back in about 1.7 million gallons. So, again, no pun intended, we're underwater on that, so we need to come up with some additional plans as to how do we offset that. Lake Committee is doing a great job bringing recommendations to the board and things of that nature. So, Lake Monterey Dam, Phase 3 drain maintenance. We got approval from the county to do that. That took care of sediment buildup back in phase 3 where the mouth of our Lake Monterey is, that buildup was 10 years plus, and we were able to get that out. The lake is low, we understand that, we get it, and then we will evaluate every fall, and if we need to do continued maintenance in that area, we'll take a look at it, but that has opened up our lake, and you can actually see a current now going from that channel into the lake. The infamous trailer modifications, that was a hot one last year, and during the off-season, again, we have worked with many organizations, state, county, township. We've actually got documentation now where they've said, this is what you can do and you can't do. We can agree with it, we can disagree with it, we can dispute it. Those are the cards that we've been handed. One of the good things that we've been able to do out of that is as we've been able to talk to them, we've struck up relationships with the right people. The Public Act 368 also states legally if they want to make any policy changes or rule changes, they have to have a committee. We've kind of pushed that, and now we're part of a committee if they want to make any changes. So that's been a positive thing for us. We're going to continue a lot of the state campground rules are based on, think of Grand Haven State Park, think of Holland State Park. They're smaller campsites, right? We're a little bit larger, we're a little bit different, so we're continuing to try and push and see what things can come to our advantage because we have larger campsites. So stay tuned on some of that. Financial stability, we're still stable, we're still strong. Kimberly will go into that in a little bit. We're blessed with everybody being able to pitch in, but we still have some headwinds with our bylaws state that we have to stick to CPI, and CPI does not cover inflationary costs that continue to go through the roof. I think the CPI was 2.8 this year, and we've seen inflation 4, 5, 6%. Kimberly can go into some of those details, but our dues, my dues, your dues, don't cover 100% of the operational cost of this park. So those are some of the things that we have to figure out as to how to offset that, and do we need to pitch in some more? Things moving forward. We kicked off a capital investment fund because we are a 54-year-old park, and some of our structures, we got stuff going on in the lake. Some of our structures, we had a third-party company come in, Whiteman Engineering, to provide third-party assessment on our structures. It didn't include vehicles and roads and stuff like that. We got to gather all that information, bring it back to the membership, because our capital investment, our 10-year capital reserve that was voted on back in 2017, 2018, expires in 2027, at the end of 2027. So we got to figure out what needs to be done in the park, how much it's going to cost. We're going to pull in information from the membership during the off-season, look for surveys. When the season comes back, we'll be looking at hopefully getting some workshops and town halls up there. But we've got a lot of work to do prior to that assessment expiring. I would say the other thing that has been looking forward here is we're launching a new point-of-sale system and accounting system. Takes away from Kimberly's manual entry of stuff that she has to do to get our financials ready for board meetings. This should make everything more efficient, and the numbers should flow a lot more, I won't say accurately, but they should flow more seamlessly from the point of sale when something gets rung up at a retail area into our financials. Kimberly and Shannon and I have been, we need to get this changed. It's a very old and antiquated system. So lake development projects. So if you stick around for the board meeting later, there's 2 of them that's on the agenda. Again, we're looking at phase 4, the handicap area to go out to the beach, and then phase 6 over by the kayak launch, fishing pier and kayak launch. So Our advisory committees continue to bring forward some really good ideas to help us with moving forward and making this park continue to be a great place. With that, I think that's my quick summary of the operations from this year. Again, appreciate all the member support and the board support for us and the staff, and I'll turn it over to Kimberly. So, thank you.
All right, welcome everyone. I want to thank everyone for being here today to listen to these updates. It's good to kind of know what's going on in the park. And I also want to thank the Finance Committee. We spend a lot of time together reviewing this stuff in depth. I rely on them a lot, and they rely on me to bring the financial numbers forward, as well as the Board of Directors. So it's a good team effort, and we've got a great team working through this. In addition, I need to thank the staff. Without the staff, I can't get the numbers where we want them to be, so they work really hard to maintain the goals, and we push them. And then thanks to Jeff, too, because we work together, we challenge each other, and that's a good working relationship because we work together, but yet both value each other's opinions. So with that, yes, I'm thankful just for the team that we have and the park that we have, and excited to give you kind of an update of where we are as of 2025. So as we're approaching our final month of this 2025 summer season, our focus is shifting to 2026 and beyond. Our goal is to maintain the strong financial position and operational position while addressing our capital infrastructure needs of the park to preserve the value that Sandy Pines gives us today and into the future. So one of our biggest challenges is that, as Jeff mentioned, is that our budgeting is tied to the Consumer Price Index, which we refer to as CPI for the Midwest. The CPI reflects the changes in household goods such as groceries, gas, basic commodities. However, it does not accurately capture our larger cost increases we face across our organization. For example, while CPI was 2.8%, I'm saying last year, but it's fiscal year 2025, it will be 2.7% for the 2026 season. In relation to this, many of our larger expenses have grown at a much higher rate. Group health insurance and general business insurance is expected to increase 20%, and that's on the lower end of our national trends. Refuse services is increasing at an average of 6% annually. Auto expenses with fuel is increasing at 7% actually annually, and property taxes 6% annually. So these increases that we specifically are seeing on our side with our usage are difficult to balance when the operational dues only rise with the CPI. In addition, both Sandy Pines and Lake Monterey operations have been impacted by the new Department of Labor regulations, which have required changes to our seasonal labor structure. And that's creating additional financial pressures. But with the DOL, we have to comply, and we've done our best to work with that. Historically, operational dues have been structured to cover at least 50% of our operating expenses. The current year's operation dues is actually covering 48% of operational expenses year to date. Going into 2026 with continued inflationary pressures, that number we are seeing is expected to fall by 11 percentage points, which is showing a coverage of 37% of the costs. Our upcoming budget proposal will focus on aligning our operational expenses with the revenue streams that are directly supporting those activities. This will ensure fairness and sustainability so that we can cover those expenses with the areas where they're coming. Beyond the operations, we're also nearing the end of the 10-year capital reserve plan. While the reserve has supported many improvements, continued investment is still going to be needed to maintain our current amenities and extend the life of our assets. A key challenge that we're facing is that many assets are being used well beyond their useful life, and some were not originally designed for such a long-term stability. To better understand our future needs, we have engaged an engineering firm whose name is Whiteman to complete the comprehensive assessment of our park infrastructure. That analysis has guided us in the future capital investments that we're going to be looking at. If you did miss our most recent capital investment town hall in July, that full presentation you can see is available on our website, and that's under the Finance tab. We'll continue to update that regularly as well as information comes to us. Another factor that we look at is our days cash in reserve. As of fiscal year 2025, Sandy Pines has 219 days cash on hand, which is about 7.2 months or 60% of the year. For fiscal year 2026, we are targeting 228 days, about 7.5 months or 62%. The recommended benchmark for a not-for-profit organization, such as Sandy Pines, is 3 to 12 months, so we're at a really good spot there, and this is going to help us with those other challenges we're seeing. So overall, we are well positioned to manage these financial challenges that I mentioned, as well as investing wisely into our infrastructure and continuing to provide the amenities and experiences that we want for Sandy Pines, making it a lasting and valuable investment for all of our members. And then I do have an update for Lake Monterey as well. We spent quite a bit of time looking at Lake Monterey Golf Course. There have been some changes most recently that we're seeing, and I'll cover those. Lake Monterey Golf Course also remains in a strong financial position, and that's supported by the added services and events and amenities that David Ingalls has brought to the clubhouse and to the golf course. The focus is to continue to attract both members and our public play. That major focus is encouraging more members to enjoy the course. These are individuals, whether or not they have prior golf experience, and we have heard from those members that they're enjoying seeing what the golf course has to offer. We're also expanding those opportunities for outside guests. We want to let them know that Lake Monterey Golf Course is not just a course for the Sandy Pines members, and that will help us encourage the increased profit there as well. We've been working quite a bit, amongst everything else, with the state to obtain our Class C liquor license for the golf course, which will allow us to serve mixed beverages and draft beer at the course. The fountain pop machine has already been installed, and it is very well received to date. We have secured the township approval. The state is actually in its final stages of their review, with just a few outstanding items that we need to provide them. Our goal is to have this license in place by the very tail end of the season, just so we can get things set up and so that we can test the operations and have this offering fully available next season. We do believe that this enhancement in the clubhouse will increase their revenue, support greater golf participation, and hopefully drive higher attendance at the clubhouse events, which I have heard is already pretty packed. Looking ahead, our most pressing challenge at the golf course is our infrastructure priority with the irrigation system. So we talked in depth about this just recently through our budget review. While the maintenance team at the golf course has done an exceptional job maintaining the current system that we have, this is requiring additional labor and repair costs. We are planning and saving for this project to protect the long-term quality and appeal of the course. The Finance Committee and Board of Directors has already started reviewing that and will continue to review the project in greater detail at the upcoming September board meeting. As of fiscal 2025 year-to-date, the golf course holds 630 days cash in reserve, which is approximately 1.72 years. And this is projected to increase to 643 days, or 1.76 years, in fiscal year 2026. So while we still have the note payable to Sandy Pines, we're looking at the different opportunities to use that to pay off the note or help with the irrigation system. And we'll be talking about that in more detail going forward. Overall, Lake Monterey Golf Course remains in a strong financial position, and it's well prepared to support our upcoming investments into the golf course and ensuring that the course is available and enjoyable amenity for both the members and guests alike. So that completes my annual review for Sandy Pines and Lake Monterey.
Awesome. Thank you, Kimberly. Nice job. Yeah, we got a text from Dave, so this is a little bit of a good problem to have. Dave Ingles from the golf course couldn't make it here today. He's got, I think, a golf outing with the Moose Lodge. So if you see it packed down there, Dave got called back to help out. But leadership under him and Tyler have been phenomenal. The course looks good. We had some challenges with irrigation at the beginning of the season. We're moving in the right direction. We're getting more public play there to help offset some of those costs. Next year is our first year for going to the 125. If you remember, we were at $150 golf course assessment. Next year we go to the 125. So we're adding a little more stress to them to try and offset some of those costs, but they're doing a good job. So Dave apologizes for not being here. So that's our update. What questions out there do you have? Board questions, financial questions for myself, Kimberly. We've got, staff will beat me up later, but we've got some of the staff over there if there's any questions specific. So this is your time. You guys are awful quiet. Getting ready for the spooky trails.
Way to go, Roger.
Yeah, let's see if it's on, Roger. Oh, get it here. Now try it.
I can tear a fishing reel apart, but I can't do this. But, just a couple of comments and then a question.
Yeah.
First of all, this year was complicated with fishing with Roger because of the dam. But the board and Jeff and so on have worked hard to make it happen. And we do appreciate that. And I do also want to comment that I appreciate all the help we've had. This year was fishing with Roger and David. David is an old man. He's 12 years old. Son of the young lady up here. And he would take kids down by himself to the dock and handle it. He knows fishing. He loves kids. And I'm looking for more people young kids to help other kids. And also one other thing on that, another year might be our last year here, so I'm looking for someone adult to help with that and keep it going. Yep. Because I think there's more kids fishing this year than I've ever seen before. Okay, one other question. What's the status of the possible?
You're going to have to come back to the board meeting, Roger. At noon.
Okay,
It is on the agenda.
Yeah.
So,
I
yep.
brought an umbrella because it's going to rain.
It's supposed to
We had a
rain.
prayer meeting.
But before you go away, we want to thank you for all of the stuff that you've done for the kids in the park. Yeah. I mean, the free fishing lessons, the free rods. I mean, the smile that you bring on those kids' faces is just amazing. So we're blessed to have you as well. So thank you.
There's a lot of people that have helped. A young lady named Janet Hunger has been there every time. Very definite with the kids, very pleasant with the kids, and people like that. Your husband has been there, and we appreciate all the help. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kelvin Kronemeyer, 362. We go back as far as 1974 in my parents' place, 74 to 85. Then we vacated and didn't come back until about 2006. And my wife got on the golf cart, running around looking for places for sale. And subsequently, we now are in our, I think it's our 18th summer. And we all have logs, sandy pines and sandy pines bushes, and that hillside looks kind of barren. And there's been a suggestion given to me, and they asked me questions, and I just am gonna throw it out. Has there been any intention of putting any kind of signage on that hillside? Not only there, but the other suggestion was that that bridge over the highway is a wonderful place to have signage indicating Sandy Pines, because there's people who go by here all the time may know about Sandy Pines, but an attractive sign might catch some attention.
Right. No, so two good questions, Cal. Number one, on the Sandy Pines bushes. So yes, we have talked about how do we replace that and put the Sandy Pines verbiage there, right? So we've talked about, flowers, landscaping, rocks, we just haven't come up with a solution yet, and or a cost for that. So it has been talked about. We're not there yet. Stay tuned. The next question on the bridge. Yes, we actually talked about that way back in the day when we first built that bridge. That one has been discussed. Being completely honest, it's a little bit down at the bottom of the list from a expenditure standpoint, but that has been talked about, and we would like to see something done there if we can afford it. So, yeah. Thank you. Good questions.
Hi, my name is Karen Stevens. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Met with Jeff earlier this year. I am representing the sewing, let me see what we're called, Helping Hands Sewing Group. And I'm not sure, I was going to go to the board of directors, but I'm not sure if this is the spot too. We're a group of ladies who work on a service project. And if I show you, we take pillowcases and we make them into dresses. Lots of different ones. The chapel supports this. It's a mission opportunity. The dresses go to an orphanage in Mexico. The guy's name is Doug Allen from Diamond Springs, and he takes them there. Chapel provides funds for this group. There are more mature members who usually join this group. I don't know how else to describe it. Or none of us are youngsters. I think I'm probably the youngest one in the group. And just want to let you know what we do. We've provided over 3,000 dresses to this orphanage. I've been involved just the last 2 years. It's been working since 2012. When the new North Shores building opened, they moved into there in one of the small rooms. We appreciate that. There's lots of lighting. The tables have wheels, so they're able to be moved around. They used to be in the other building by the dairy dip, and they had to take down the tables, put them back up, those kind of things. And a number of these ladies are 70s and 80s. They just cannot do that job. So this year we ran into a little bit of a problem, and I kind of wanted to address that because it does affect 3 other groups that use the North Shore building. We are on the rec, the schedule, the rec center schedule that says we're at the North Shore building, but this year we were told we can't put up a sign in the room where we're being so that people know where we're at. We're also not guaranteed our room. Somehow it was decided that those rooms are first come, first serve, but we have all our supplies in the cabinets. As you can imagine, we have sewing machines, threads, binding, like tons of stuff in there. And so, give you an example, one day we came in, all 4 rooms were filled, and it was our time to work, and we couldn't get in our room. And so luckily the lady was super, super sweet. She called over to the office and told them what was happening. We were able to get in there. We pulled all our stuff out in the main center, which worked. But luckily she was very kind. A strange thing happened. The PSO was sent over to us. like, I don't know what they thought was gonna happen, but it seemed like they were making sure we didn't cause any trouble there. That was very uncomfortable for these ladies who have been involved with that. I wasn't there when that happened, but a little disturbing. So I guess kind of my point is that if we're on the rec center schedule, we feel like we should be able to have a room dedicated to us. We feel like we should be able to put a note in the window that people know there. We were told we can't do that because people rent that building for other things, for weddings and whatever. We understand that, you know, Vacation Bible School's in there, and that we understand those things happen. But we would just like to get that put on the schedule permanently, along with the other groups. It's the poker group, the cribbage group, and the crocheting and knitting group. We would like to have that as a permanent location for us and not be on a first come, first serve room availability. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah.
And Jeff and I have talked.
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet, but just wanting to let them know.
So in response to that, you're right, we did have a meeting with the Helping Hands group. If we take a step back, when the North Shore was built, the request was, can the Helping Hands have a room? And the answer was yes, because of what you said at the Phase 1 pavilion, okay? Taking down chairs, tables, things of that nature. There is that dedicated room to you guys in that corner. The challenge that we have is we also have those other rooms that are available 7 o'clock in the morning to whenever, right? I think the Helping Hands starts at 9 o'clock.
10 to 2.
10 to 2?
10 to 2,
Okay.
yep.
I knew it was 9 or 10. So there is that window there that if somebody gets there, they do have the right to reserve that as well and use it for, we have Zoom calls that they do, business meetings, things of that nature. So it's hard to dedicate just one room for a group, because then, as you listed out, other groups will want their dedication as well. And talking to the group when we were at the administration center, this was really, from what I understand, the first time we've had kind of a conflict like that. So you're right, we're still trying to work through that. But you do have storage there. You do have those cabinets. We've talked about finding some other areas to store some of those things. As far as a sign, that one, I don't remember that one coming up. And the only thing that you can't do for a sign is you can't tape it to the windows, because all of the glass in the North Shore are special pane windows. And so you can't duct tape, you can't put packing tape, you can't put Scotch tape on them. But there was, you're right, there was a sign there before that had helping Hands in there. I don't think we have any issues putting that in there again. We just can't tape it to it.
Well, and I think you just said that you can't guarantee that room to us, but see, what happens is on every other activity that happens on this schedule, they're guaranteed a spot. And we would like to have somewhere where we can be a guaranteed spot so ladies don't come, get ready to do it. And it is very busy. It's really cool. But a lot of times it's one person in there. We can't go to a person's house. We can't just pick up our stuff and go somewhere else. It just seems like a common courtesy after an organization has been here this long, or this group has been here that long, that we get a dedicated space to that and a time. And so I think to say that we just can't guarantee it because somebody else might have it isn't the right answer. I think there needs to be a way to guarantee us a
And again, I
space.
think that's where we need to continue to have the conversation, because when it first came to us during the North Shore, the dedication and the guarantee for that room is 10 o'clock on these days, you guys have it. We just got to figure out, if somebody shows up earlier, can we ask them to go take another room? Things that I think that's where the struggling point is. So, but we'll continue to work through it.
So, and I don't know if that needs to then, if I should do that at the board meeting too, if I should bring this up there, is that you guys, or do you think this is enough? But I do really want it to, one, I want to let people know about our group, because we can always use more people. It really is a great way to get to know other people in the park. And then I just have one other thing. Paul, you emailed me back, which I appreciate that. I had a really difficult time getting a hold of any of you. And so I know if I have a hard time, other people do. I'm not sure there's a good way to get in touch with you. I put something on Facebook a couple times saying, could someone get in touch with me? I'd like to talk to you individually. No response. Sent an email to the Board of Directors page and just said, how can I get in touch with you? And Paul did get back to me about a week after that, but I'm just wondering if there's an easier way to get in touch with you guys, not to try to bother you, but sometimes we just want to pick your brains and see what's happening. So, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Jeff?
Yeah, go ahead,
Is
Pat.
there, I'm assuming you take donations of pillowcases.
Yes.
Where would we drop them off? Who would we contact for that?
The woman who's in charge of this is Judy. Does anybody know what Judy's last name is? I don't know.
Van Klompenberg?
Okay, she is that person. I'd be more than willing to do it. I'm in phase 3, but
Do you also take fabric, just fabric, to make the pillowcases out of?
yeah, we do that. And we also make aprons for the adults there, and we do, we don't make shorts, but we do collect shorts for the boys that are there.
Okay,
So-
because I have a lot of it, and I know someone who's cleaning out a home that has totes and totes of fabric.
Yeah, and if
Okay.
not, I work with another organization that works for hospitals in the Kalamazoo area, and we're making things for them also. So,
Okay.
thank you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Holly DeBoer, K77. I've been here, I don't know, long time. So quick question, can you guys clarify the process for how items are added to the board meeting agenda? And specifically, how can a board member request an item to be placed on the agenda in advance? And during a meeting, if a board member makes a motion to add an item or an addendum to an agenda item already, does that motion require a second and the vote of the majority of the board after discussion in order to be officially added? That's question 1, sorry.
Anybody want to take that one?
So there's several different options for, at this time, several different options as to how something can be added to the agenda. One would be from the board chair. One would be, that's the first one. The second one would be from a majority of the board in a, like a popularity contest. And the third one would be park president. Those would be the 3. Once the agenda is set, and then it's published 72 hours prior, that agenda at that point is locked in place.
So you guys don't do Robert's rules, I'm guessing, for your meetings, correct? You're not under Robert's rules of order for your meetings? I mean, how do, like, what ruling do you conduct your meetings under?
I can grab that if you want.
Yep,
Yeah, go ahead.
thanks.
So because they don't have to follow, Sandy Pines does not have to follow the OMA. We don't have to follow any part of the Open Meetings Act. They don't have to do that. So it's whatever real guidelines that Sandy Pines sets for themselves of how they do that. So some of the stuff is Robert's rules, how they do that. Some is not specific because they don't have to fall under the Open Meetings Act. So it's really just kind of whatever the board in the park sets is that policy.
And I'm guessing we don't follow Open Meetings Act because we are a private, nonprofit.
Correct, we don't have to.
Because we're not under a governance or government type.
Right.
Correct.
thing. Okay, so to ask Paul, can you just explain to me what a 5 vote would be then? Like, is that during a meeting? Is it behind closed door? Like you said, to get on the agenda.
Right.
It would be like a majority, right? It would be 5 members. How, like, that process doesn't happen, like, when does that process happen? Is it in the public view or is it out of the public view?
That would be done during our workshops, which are held on the Monday prior to the Friday meetings.
Okay,
So that is not a public meeting, no.
okay.
That's where we hash things out to then present them all to you in an organized fashion.
Okay. It's a little different what I'm used to, so that's why I'm asking. I
It's
know
a good question.
we're allowed
Nope.
to,
It's a good question.
do
It's a good
agenda,
question.
you have somebody second it,
Yep.
you get to bring up to discussion, and if nobody wants it on the agenda, then you get to say,
Yep.
it doesn't get the vote that it needs. So I was just curious. And then secondly, we have a lot of text messages that come to us from different formats, like the duck, the pond is getting,
The raves.
The meetings that are here, the pool's closed or whatever. Is there any way to streamline it? I think sometimes when we get all these text messages, to go back in, to actually text something, it's really hard to pull that back up and thinking, did I just miss something? Like even if it's a Sandy Pines alert and then there's, I mean, is there a way to streamline it so it's coming from one source?
Yeah, we're working on that. So our communication company or process is through the RAVE process. And in RAVE, you can bucket stuff. The challenge with that is members are either all in that bucket, or if they opt out, they opt out of all buckets. So we're still trying to streamline that and work through that. I know there's a ton of RAVE texts that go out there on a regular basis. We're not there yet. We look at it every off season. We've got an off season project with our CRM company and RAVE to try and figure out how to do that better. So.
And then just going to add one more to the agenda item, because it just came to me. Is that per the bylaws, or is that per what new board members decide that they're not going to motion things on the floor at a meeting in the public, that they would only do that to put something on the agenda during a workshop? Is that something that's in the bylaws, or is that something that's just kind of a consensus of the board of how they want to conduct business, going forward?
That's part of the bylaws, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yes. So again, the board is the responsible party to govern the park through the open board meetings on Friday, and they're the ones that'll set the agenda. Now, Kimberly and I have input on that because we lead operations, right? Board governs, we run the operations. So again, during that workshop, everybody's view gets heard. There's been some concerns out there. Well, what if members have items that are out there that need to get on there? You can submit them to the board of directors. Some of those items have been discussed at workshops and have been added to the agenda.
Okay.
So.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Love the Bucky shirt.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Mastola. I'm at 6141. My question is about the weeds in the lake this year. So we've been in the park for 18 years, and we've never seen it this bad, right? So something has changed. So kind of a three-part question. Do you know why the weeds are so bad, and has something changed? Perhaps are we treating it differently than we've treated it in the past, so maybe chemicals aren't working?
Right.
And also, have you considered, we lived on a lake for 30 years, and occasionally they would bring in a big machine that would harvest them down 5-6 feet, so at least you're not killing them, but you're not, you can swim. If you try to go out even in the no wake area now, it's very unpleasant. It's never been like this before.
Right. No, so did you have three, or was that all three of them? I thought
That
I
was
heard.
three.
That was three. Okay.
What
All right.
is- what is causing it? Because if we don't know what's causing it, I'll be worried we're going to have it again next year if we don't change what we're doing.
So what's changed in the lake? Again, if you go back to 2019, when there was a lake study released, and then we had some things to do. We were treating the lake a little bit differently. So we got a lake that's recreational, we got a lake that's fishing, we got a lake that's swimming. So how do you meet all those needs, right? So then we're trying to put a plan together. What has changed recently is, if you haven't seen it, we now have zebra mussels in the lake. And what the zebra mussels do is they eat a bunch of stuff in the lake, which clears up the water. And then this is our hypothesis. We're still talking to, the lake committee is still working through this with a couple of other third-party companies to assess this and come up with a plan for the weeds. But as you get clear water, the sun goes down further to the bottom of the lake, and now you have weeds popping up. So how do we address that? So we are looking at a couple of action plans that we're going to get this fall to say, how do we do this? One of the action plans could be like a regular 6-month treatment, pretty expensive. We have seen that lake, or that weed harvester on there. We've talked about that as well. Is there one that we can rent? Is there one that a company can provide us? So we have noticed it this year as well. And that was one of the things that popped up during the Phase 6 pier. If we put that over there, it's kind of weedy over there as well. So.
All right, yeah, it would be important to me and probably a lot of other people just to know that that's important to
Yep.
you and the board, and that we're going to do something different
Yep.
instead of just
Yep.
do what
No,
we did
we,
before.
we get those questions all the time, whether they come into the office, I get an email, board gets an email. The lake committee is all over this. They've had 2 different independent companies come in and actually take boat rides on our lake. So,
All right, great.
thank you, good question.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. 11:04, 11:03, 11:01. All right. All right. Well, hey, if there are no other questions, thank you again for coming. Thank you for another awesome season. It's hard to believe that we're at the end of the season already. You guys continue to have a blessed weekend. Don't forget to go out there and vote. Today is election day as well. And God bless. You guys have a good weekend, and don't get caught in the thunderstorms later today, okay? Thank you.